There's been a big question on a lot of people's minds lately. Who's going to the White House after they win the World Series, of course? And now we finally have an answer. It's going to be the LA Dodgers, who knocked off the New York Yankees last night in Game 5 of the World Series. The Dodgers last visited the White House after taking the title in 2020, so it hasn't been that long. On the other hand, the Yankees last popped in after winning the World Series in 2009. These are two of the most storied baseball franchises with the game's biggest superstars. And wouldn't you know it, that the New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers are also the two most valuable franchises in Major League Baseball, according to Forbes. The Yankees are estimated to be worth more than $7.5 billion, and the Dodgers are estimated to be worth about $5.5 billion. Now, looking at this list, the lovable but perennial disappointments, my Seattle Mariners, are estimated to be worth $2.2 billion, ranking them as the 13th most valuable team. And down at the bottom, the least valuable franchise, according to Forbes, is surprisingly not the Oakland Athletics, soon to be the Las Vegas Athletics, but rather it's the Miami Marlins, coming in at a mere $1 billion estimated value. I got to thinking, what are the fundamentals supporting these massive valuations? And by fundamentals, I mean revenues, profits, cash flows, things that analysts look at. In my research, I found this pie chart, also from Forbes, to be very interesting. It shows the sources of revenues across Major League Baseball. Media rights by far make up the largest source of revenue at about 48% of the total. So in the case of this year's World Series, Fox paid Major League Baseball for the rights to broadcast all 7 games if it were to have gone the distance. Now, Fox benefits by selling commercials. The going rate for a 30-second spot was between $465,000 and $520,000. That rate would have gone up if the series had been extended to a Game 6 and a Game 7. The second most significant source of league revenue is ticket sales. Each team plays 81 games during the regular season. So if we combine the premium seating and general seating slices on this pie chart, we get 33% of total revenue. Then we have stadium sponsorships and in-stadium advertising together make up about 10% of total revenues. And then finally, there's the other category coming in at about 9%. And that includes things like merchandise sales, stadium concessions, parking, and some other things. Most of my career has involved valuing assets, either directly or indirectly. And in my case, the assets have been traditional investments like stocks, bonds, and real estate, where you can look at the cash flows expected to be generated by these investments, including the expected growth and stability of these cash flows, and come up with a reasonable price to pay for these investments. Now, if we go back to the top of the table and look at the fundamentals for the Yankees and Dodgers, I noticed 2 things. First, the profit margins are very low, less than 1% for the Yankees and about 5% for the Dodgers. Second, the franchise values are so high relative to the earnings they generate as to not even be meaningful. If you take the Yankees' estimated value of $7.55 billion and divide it by the operating profit of $2.1 million, the result is a market value to earnings multiple of more than 3,000 times. In the US stock market, you'll see this multiple range typically from 10 to 30 times, not 3,000 times. Now, it's possible that the Yankees' income is depressed this year. Maybe it's typically higher. But even if the Yankees ran a 20% profit margin, their estimated value of $7.55 billion would still be more than 50 times its earnings. That's simply too high to be justified by fundamentals. There's something else at play here, and it has a name. Professional sports teams fall into a special category known as trophy assets. A trophy asset is unique, it's scarce, and maybe most importantly, it has emotional appeal. It's this last characteristic that can push the price of trophy assets above what can be justified by fundamentals. I think the term trophy asset is most commonly associated with real estate, like for example, the Empire State Building, but professional sports teams definitely fall under this heading too. And although I think there is a disconnect between the values and prices paid for trophy assets, I'm not saying they can't be good investments. If you look at the increase in professional sports teams' valuations over the last many years, they've generally been great investments. And while I can't speak for billionaires, personally, I would find it unsettling to own an asset whose price is well above what I would consider its intrinsic value. Because what if that asset falls out of favor and loses its status as a trophy asset? The price could fall a long ways before it bottoms out at its intrinsic value. And from time to time in the stock market, you might notice some high-profile companies trading at prices that appear unjustified based upon conventional business metrics. I'd be wary of those. Here at HFG Trust, we stick to non-trophy assets for our clients' portfolios. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in a month.